Welcome to a March Madness edition pregame, Illinois Morehead State. Obviously, there's a lot going on right now, the best time of year. So much going on. I think we had to get one in real quick. Just Kev helped set this one up today. Kev, go ahead and explain a little bit about what this is before the game, and we'll introduce him on.
Hey, yeah, right on. So I was thinking about I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've listened to a lot, college sports ones, Illinois ones, college basketball ones, and a lot of them are talking about how if Illinois is able to win today, move on to the second round, how tough we will be to scout on such a short notice. And I, stayed in contact through Twitter with a Illinois favorite of mine, DJ Richardson, and I asked DJ, hey, would you want to jump on the pod real quick and talk about this? So he was so gracious. We actually had a phone call today. Guy is, man, just super, super cool dude, easy to talk to, and just said, hey, man, I'll hop on. So really appreciate having DJ Richardson hop on for us today.
That's three.
What's up, fellas? What's up?
Hey, fourth all time in 3-point make school history, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and DJ and I talked about this. The dude was always forced to guard the best perimeter player.
Yeah.
And just consummate Illini, man. Appreciate you jumping on, DJ. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing? Appreciate you guys having me on too.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I got to be honest, though, DJ. You would probably remember it. There was a lot of loud moments when you played during your tenure. Of course, you guys beat Indiana with the layup from Mr. Griffey, but I can tell you, you were a big reason of that. If you go back and rewatch that game, you hit so many huge buckets in that second half. Yogi Ferrell was smothering you, man, like a blanket, and you were still.
And then
but you were still.
DJ got that steal late, man. Yeah, dude, it was unbelievable.
But my favorite moment, I don't know if you remember, it was against Michigan State one of those years. You had a steal and a dunk. That place was so loud, my ears about blew off. That was one of the. Was that one? Do you remember that? Was that one of the loudest moments you remember? State Farm Center.
I still get chills when I watch that. When I get chills, because when I dunk the ball, I feel like some type of. I don't know how to explain it. It was some type of a bounce, like the crowd energy bounced off the court into my body. Some type of. I don't know how to even explain it. That was one, if I see that video, it feels some type of way. I get like chills in my body when I see that. And that was that was game day. I remember that. It was game day.
Yeah. You got some big lift on that one. Like you were up there. It was like, man, we should throw this dude some lobs. Like,
yeah.
That was the game day game, and we needed it big time. I remember that. Because without that game, I think maybe we might have missed the tournament. That was a big game for us. But I just, if you can remember it to this day and how you felt uplifted, that's obviously sticks in my head and Kevin's as well. But we brought you on here for a couple reasons. First off, with Illinois playing today, what was it like, in the hours leading up to the March Madness? Like, how different was it than, let's say, the Big Ten tournament or – just a regular Big Ten game? What's the difference when you're out there playing in this?
To tell you the truth, it starts really at the selection Sunday when you find out where you're going, who you playing against. You have to get mentally focused. We went down one of my years. We went to Oklahoma. I think we went to Oklahoma, and then another year we went to Austin, Texas. So you got to mentally prepare hours way before the game. Hours before the game definitely is part of the process, but you definitely got to be ready way before then. Energy, the food you eat. I turn my cell phone off for multiple days just to get focused for the game. So it's a huge focus and things that you really need to focus on, because you got to play that game. When they say it's like play this game like your last game, and it's really like that because it's a single game elimination, especially when you're a senior. My senior year, it hit me. I was crying in the locker room like a baby. But
that TNT together, that video you guys made with Gross, those videos still, man, that had me down. And by the way, you watching your man Gross Akron team right now?
Yeah, I watched Gross, and I shout out Coach Jamar Walker, which is one of the coaches that really put in a lot of work with me my senior year. He brought a lot of things that I was doing in high school. He brought that back out to my game, which helped me lead into my professional career. And when he leading that back into my professional year, that helped me with my my career overseas, because he gave me that confidence that I needed.
Yeah, DJ, I had the pleasure of being at all 4 of your tournament games. Luckily enough, I live in Oklahoma City, so it was just a jaunt over to Tulsa for me, and
Okay.
then just a little bit of 6-hour trip down to Austin. Like when you guys are prepping, and like let's look at these in two different segments, because you made around a 32 twice, gave Kansas a battle for most of that game, and then we all know about the Miami game. Like I said, I walked out of that arena just so heartbroken.
Yeah.
One, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to see you and Brandon play anymore, 2 of my all-time favorite Illini. Because you guys ushered in a little bit of a change and with Gross coming in that year, and just it was a vibe that I thought that you guys had as a team that was special. But as you're looking at this, like it's Thursday, you're getting ready to play Colorado or you're getting ready to play UNLV. Like Illinois is getting ready to play Morehead State. Is it more about what we do or what we need to do to, like, or is it more about the scout or what we start, or is it what's it vibe like? Are you thinking about like we just need to go execute what we do, or are you thinking like we got to take this away from them?
It's more about executing what we do, and I say that because throughout the whole season, early in the season, we got to figure out all our mistakes, and by the time the end of the season, all the mistakes that we've been doing need to be exited out. Like small things, jumping to the ball, help side defense, everything at the end of the season should be mastered by at this time of the season. And now it's just okay when the coach brings the scouting report to you guys, it should just be like that. Sometimes you run to guys that's very good offensive players, and you got coaches that can switch things up on the spot. But at the moment, you as a basketball player, and you just got to be prepared. That's the main thing, preparation. And going into these games, you just everything as a team, the scouting report should just stick because we mastered everything throughout the season. We made all of our mistakes throughout the season, and at the end of the season, it should be very little mistakes because every possession counts.
Now, I want to walk through the Colorado game because I don't know why that. I mean, just because like you were a bigger part of that, obviously a big part of the UNLV game, but in that game, you guys jump out early on them, right? We got a decent sized lead in the first half, and in the second half, we went dry, like we couldn't make a bucket, and they started to creep back in the game. What do you rely on there as a player to be like, dude, this is fun. Like because you can't get tight, like you can't let the nerves get you. You're like, we're just gonna play our game. Like what do you guys? What's it like in the huddle there? Like, is that where senior leadership takes over? Is that where you talk about games like Indiana and stuff where you guys have come back and beat teams?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely relies on a lot of the upperclassmen. Well, not even just upperclassmen, the leader of the team, coming together to get stops. Because if we can't score, we can't allow you guys to score either. So, I mean, sometimes you might go through spurts where you have bad offensive possessions or you can't score, but you got to also be able to stop somebody. And that's something my dad always taught me when I was younger. He always taught me, hey, if you score 30 points, he can't score 30 points. So, you got to be able to stop somebody. That's the main thing. Defense is the key to the game. And, if you can't score, then make sure that they can't score either.
Which game was more of a better memory for you? Was it, kind of just annihilating UNLV or hanging on against Colorado? And which one sticks out more for you? Obviously, we would have loved to say the Miami game. They switched the rule because of how they screwed you. The replay rule, obviously, late in games because it was so blatant Illinois ball. They gave it to Miami. But other than that, which March Madness memory for you sticks out the most?
I got like all of them because I
mean,
I say the
you guys
Miami.
had Crandall Head. You guys had Crandall Head on the Tulsa team, and he got to go against his brother's old Bill Self in the second round. But you had Crandall, so it was just a different group, though. Was my point. You had Tracy Abrams and Nana in your senior year, but you had the old heads. When you were a younger player in Tulsa. So I was just curious, maybe which one stood out to you a little more.
To tell you the truth, I really don't have a favorite because the first one against Kansas, well, UNLV around that time, that kind of just gave me my first college, my experience of, and that really kind of boosted my career, is being able to play in that type of game your freshman year and also being a 30-minute per game freshman player, so that gave me a lot of boost and knew what we was fighting for, especially when it got to the point where I got to my senior year when we played against Colorado. It's like we've been here before. Especially we had a lot of guys. Tyler been there, Brandon been there, Joseph Bertrand been there. And it also goes to the point, that senior year of us winning those tournaments. We won some pretty big tournaments and big games on the road. Beating Gonzaga in their place, that's a hard place to win. Winning the Maui tournament.
Yep.
So we did a lot of things our senior year to get to that moment. And going back to my freshman year, I went my whole senior year undefeated and then go and win like the first 7 or 8 games and then losing to a team from my hometown, which is Bradley. So I took a lot throughout that season as well, with just, that didn't sit right with me, that made me fight even harder. So
That that freshman season, that Clemson game though, one of my favorites.
that's one of my favorite games too, because we
27-point deficit. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
And Brandon Paul with the faux hawk.
Yeah, you got the faux hawk.
He dunked. I remember he dunked on somebody in that game. I was just like, oh my goodness! I was like, these boys are good. You and Brandon together. I knew you guys were going to be good, but I saw how you guys were playing in that game. But yeah, that's it. That's an old favorite game nobody talks about. The 27-point comeback against Clemson on the road.
That was history.
But DJ stepped up for us big in that Kansas game. He had 15 in that Kansas game. I was there. I mean, I remember that clearly. Hey, DJ, as we're looking at this, so let's look at, all right, let's say Illinois wins today.
Right.
Okay, and it looks like Duquesne might hold on and win this thing. But when we're going to look at Friday, what is it like on Friday for your in-between games? How much have you prepped at all? Have you done any kind of scout on the other two teams in this little 4-team tournament? And then how much of that time are you spending on Friday of scout, or is it once again just do what we do? Like we don't have time to scout for these guys. We got to do what we do.
Well, normally through that process, you get a day in between. So main thing is rest, recovery. Those two main things.
Yeah.
And then scouting, you get a chance to walk through the hotel. Like they have like a room or something where you can, they used to put like the little tape that we tape our ankles with. They used to create a little basketball court in one of the rooms at the hotel. So we'd just walk through their plays, and then we'd walk through some of our plays, and we'd do our scouting reports. Like the coaches have papers handed them out to everybody what we're going to go through in the game plan and everything. So, at this time of the year, you got to really relax your body because every game is important. I'm trying to think if we was able to still go to the gym. I don't know if we was able to. We might we'd do a shoot around before the game, but if the game too early, maybe like 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we'd probably just do a walkthrough in the hotel.
Which the Kansas scout was pretty easy. The Morris twins. Anything else? Yeah.
Hey, these guys did something on the court I never seen before in my life. Just to tell this real quick, that I think both of them was lined up on the free throw lines on each elbow. One of the brothers drove hard to the basket and just threw the ball off the backboard hard, and it was it didn't get completed. I think somebody got fouled, but we went to the free throw line the next play. The guys they was talking stuff back on the court. I think they was talking to Mike Davis, talking trash. He's like, we do this. This is what we do. And he's like, man, that was supposed to be a lob on your head. You lucky. But I was like, man, these dudes, they some different type of brothers. They some different type of guys. So
we're still getting paid in the league, though. I mean, they're still in the league. Still getting paid there.
They great guys. They, like I said, they competitors. They that whole team was put together well. Even the guards, they had some good shooters. It was a well-rounded team.
How far did they go that year, Kev?
I don't recall. I do remember that we were right in the game late. I mean,
I thought it was a game we could have won. It was just like we got it to 4, and then the Morris, they kept making big buckets. That's all I remember.
Yeah, even the Miami game too. I was like, we wasn't looking ahead that game, but if we was able to beat Miami, we was gonna go against a team that we I think it was Marquette, and we won that tournament in Maui, and Marquette was in that tournament in Maui. So I mean, I wouldn't just say that we would have just beat Marquette, but they lost to a team that we obviously beat in the Maui. So, and I think they got beat pretty bad.
Shane Larkin hit that shot that I just couldn't believe. I was just like I think he hit it right in front of Gross too. I think he was just like, "Are you crapping me?"
Yeah, because it was great defense. I couldn't do more. And I was talking to Kev earlier. It was like, it was hard for me throughout the season, being able to, you guard this player and then this player get hot, you jump over to him, and then the player that you was guarding, he gets hot. So it's just like, just hard to get. Sometimes hard to get in the offensive groove when you jumping around trying to stop players and then put a lot of toll
Yep.
on your legs and body.
I've got one last question about the March Madness before we kind of talk to him a little bit about today and Morehead State and what he thinks about that. Is I'm watching this Duquesne BYU game. Tell me the difference between officiating between league play and March Madness? Because let me tell you, I'm watching them. BYU's like shoving Duquesne all over the floor, and they're not calling anything. They're calling jump balls and things that I'm like, man, Zach Edey'd probably have them fouled out by now. But like they're just letting more go, it looks like. What is the officiating different in March Madness?
Well, normally they try to put the best referees for certain games there. I just want to be even. Yeah. You sometimes you do have some refs that have favoritism, and I'm not saying that I just know this, but just by experience, it's just what it seems. Sometimes you might get more calls and might look up at the scoreboard. You got 15 fouls and they only got 6 or 7. So sometimes it just be like that. You can overly play aggressive. You can you can do certain things, but I just wanted it to be a fair game.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's interesting what you talked about in between the scout and stuff is because one of the things I've heard is that Illinois is a very difficult team to scout for in one day because of how we beat you different from different aspects. This team can get you in transition. They can get you in the half court. Now, I know we talked, you don't get to watch much of this team because of your schedule, but what you have seen, what's your thoughts? What do you think?
I love it. I love the guy. It's competitive, especially the guard. I can't. What's his name? Number 3.
Damask.
Oh man, with him being able to post up and play like that, that's definitely that's an advantage. Like you can use that a lot. That's key. The big man that come off the bench, he's pretty good. He's a key. So you can go small. You can even put Hawkins sometimes. He can put him as a 5 and play small ball, and because he can guard pretty good, different positions. And like I love the team. The team have a lot of different variety of lineups. They have a lot of different variety of weapons. And one thing I love about them, they play hard on both ends. And I think I put this on Twitter the other day, or X Twitter. Hawkins made 2 huge plays on both ends of the court that really saved the game.
Absolutely, yeah. He stepped up there for him. And DJ, I know Ryan's got a question for you, but I told you we'd keep you for 20 minutes. Really appreciate you coming on. Love to have you on again. Love to talk about your nephew.
Yeah, I was about to say we're going to talk about the old nephew.
Yeah.
in the class of 2025. So my last question is, what do you got today? You think Illinois beats Morehead State, or you think the pressure gets to them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I threw it on today.
There we go.
I got my orange on. I got my orange on. So I really do think that this is a team. Like I said, I do want to see this team go further than I think the last time I know you guys probably tired. I'm tired of seeing getting to the last 32.
Right, 100%.
It's that time. It's that time. It's the team. I think it's the team. I said the last time with AO, that team, they had a great team, but this should be the year.
That's right. Well, thanks again, DJ. I know we got games to watch. I'm excited. I'm watching the end of this game. Illinois will be on in about 45 minutes. And we'll be talking to you this summer, about some recruiting, and so we can talk some more stories, and maybe we can get one of your teammates on with you and just reminisce a little.
Yeah, and one thing I'd love to have you talk about a little bit, DJ, is because I think that the average American basketball fan doesn't understand what the other professional basketball leagues are like. And I've had some friends here in Oklahoma City. I was the John Calipari of the YMCA league over here in Oklahoma City for a while. I'd recruit guys that finished their college career, played overseas for a little bit, and we just mopped teams in the YMCA men's league. But I got to hear some cool stories from those guys, but I'd love to hear it from your side of things, because I know it's a really awesome and unique experience that has made you a better man, and like you're to finish MVP. So I'd love to talk a little bit more about that stuff if you'd be up for it.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely be up. Just let me know a time and date, and I'll definitely we can definitely set.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for coming on short notice.
Yep.
No problem.
Let's
See you, brother.
Well, Kev, real quick before we jump off, because I know I'm ready. I want to watch the end of this Duquesne BYU game. Looks like no matter who they play, it's a team. Illinois just can't take today for granted. I think they got to live in the moment now. And while people are bitching at me because I'm talking about BYU Duquesne, I'm Ryan. I'm not on the team. I'm assure you the team's ready for Morehead State. What do you see happening, Kev? Before we jump off here today.
Yeah, I mean, they just got to come take care of business. I think that this team is fueled a little bit. I think they have some little bit of rabbit ears in a good way. I think this has been a popular upset pick with some people. I know the Action Network. You know, if you listen to Sleepers talked about it. The Action Network doesn't care for Illinois in this game. They think of us as the Iowa team from a couple years ago that lost to Richmond in the first round. I don't see us as that way. I think Terrence is pissed off about where he was placed on some of these postseason All-American teams. I think this team's got to come out with some fire because Morehead State is pretty good. But hey, Morehead State has played I don't think they have a quad 1 or a quad 2 win. And I know that they've got some good stuff there, and they've got some good players here. I really look for this. I think it might be a Dane game. I think especially if he can hold his own on the defensive end, I think Dane can give them some real problems. I think Dane can give whoever we play in the next round some real problems. So I'd really like to see that. But I just think that Illinois has so many different ways that they can beat you. And also, listen, we got down 10 points in all 3 games of the Big Ten tournament, won all 3. Like it doesn't phase these guys. They're built. I think this team is more built for the moment now than even a month and a half ago. So while I'm nervous, you can hear me talking fast. I got too much coffee in me. I'm excited.
Not just that, you guys, but I think that Illinois got a bunch of weapons too, but also the physicality. I think Illinois with Ty Rogers, Quincy Guerrier, they don't really have much depth. Morehead State, they're going to wear down. It might be a 5 to 10 point game at half, but I think by the 10-minute mark in the second half, I think Illinois' depth and their physicality is going to wear them down. So, but that said, Kev, anything else to say? Because let's jump to it. Half an hour before the game. Let's go.
Let's go. My favorite weekend of the year. Let's go.
That's right. Swap me out.
ILL.
I and I.